Okay, folks, this is my first in a series for books for the young in your home, maybe the young by age and the young at heart. Coming up. Keep reading. Hi, Terri Gillespie here, and welcome to Terri's Top Picks, the Youth Edition. So I'm trying out this episode to see if this would be helpful to families to find some books for their kids during the summer months that are edifying and insightful and inspirational. And if it's successful, then I'll do one once a year, and especially around summertime, so that kids from middle school all the way up to college age actually can get a few suggestions for books. So let's start with Sleuth Family Robinson. This is a graphic novel, and it is published by Focus on the Family with Tyndale Publishing. And oh my gosh, the graphics on this are incredible. Let's see if I can do this right. Great. I mean, just beautiful. And the story is great. Then it has back material of different episodes and different events that happen and relating them back to relationships and biblical values. And you could take the whole summer on just the back matter, going over it with your kids, which reminds me, this is reading age between 8 and 12. And if you have a precocious reader, maybe a little younger. And I enjoyed it too. And it would be great for Sunday school or Shabbat school or some kind of youth program. I highly recommend that. So this is, let's see. The writer is Christopher P.N. Maselli, and it's illustrated beautifully by Dennis Edwards. And honestly, I wish I had had this for my daughter. There were some really good books that my daughter enjoyed, but having something like this, especially with the back matter of talking about the different things that go on and the difficulties of life, is great questions to ask your kids. So if this is your first exposure to graphic novels, let's start with a little bit about the author. Christopher P.N. Maselli is an award-winning author of more than 50 books, including 19 children's novels. He is a regular writer for Focus on the Family's Clubhouse magazine, where he writes monthly mysteries for Adventures in Odyssey. So this is called Sleuth Family Robinson, and the first in the series is Fighting Evil Around the World. Imagine if your family has a team of super spies who each had different gifts and special strengths that you use together to solve mysteries. Now imagine if someone wanted to destroy your family and the world. Could they do it? Not a chance. Not when you're the Sleuth Family Robinson. This graphic novel from Focus on the Family and Clubhouse Magazine offers fun, quality, engaging Christian entertainment for kids ages 8 and above. Kids learn alongside the Robinsons as they solve problems together as a family. It starts in Bug headquarters, which is British Underground. So somebody comes up to the director and says, "Director, someone hacked the British Underground database. Our agents are exposed, along with their families," the director says. It's just so well done. All right. Next book is, this is beautiful, Hunt for Eden Star. And this is the Beacon Hill series, and this is book 1. Now, I think this one came out actually, let's see here. It came out in 2023. And I think the third book has came out this year, but when the publisher gave me a choice of the newest book coming out, I opted for the first book, just so that it makes it easier for you all to know about the story and know about the series and know where to start. Sometimes you just have to. D.J. Williams was born and raised in Hong Kong, igniting an adventurous spirit as he ventured into the jungles of the Amazon, the bush of Africa, and the ancient cities of the Far East. His global travels submerged him in a myriad of cultures, providing a unique perspective that fuels his creativity. Providing a fresh voice in mystery and suspense, his novels have climbed the charts on Amazon Hot New Releases, with his previous book, The Auctioneer, receiving a stellar review from the Kirkus Reviews. Williams has also been an executive producer and director of over 500 episodes of broadcast television. All right. So here's a little bit, and what's interesting is this book is pretty sophisticated. So I know they say teenage, but it was a little sophisticated for me. It wasn't what I expected at all, because it really treats the reader as wanting to pursue excellence, wanting to pursue an understanding of the world. So you, as a reader, are going to just be, because it is a science fiction, but it's like a normal science fiction. It's not like science-y fiction. It's more like every day, but there's something supernatural going on. So, they get moved to all sorts of different countries and learn a little bit about those countries. So it really is, I don't know how else to explain it. It's just fascinating. So here's a little bit about the story, Hunt for Eden Star. Did I say that? And this is published by Tyndale. His sister's death revealed an epic hidden war. Now he must join the fight. And of course, it's good against evil. Reeling from the recent death of his sister, Jack Reynolds is thrown into a world of ancient secrets when he discovers a powerful supernatural artifact. With the help of a diverse group of boarding school friends, Jack embarks on a global adventure, seeking the truth about his sister's death and battling literal and psychological demons on his quest to thwart the forces of evil and protect the future of civilization. So his debut novel, young adult thriller whisks readers into a wildly exciting supernatural page turner set in the lush jungles of the Philippines, the high energy streets of Hong Kong, and a historic boarding school laden with secrets. All right. So, young adult is considered 13 to 18. And if you, once again, if you have a precocious reader, then you might be able to go a little lower in age. Okay. Chapter 1. And it's so cool. It's got a different calligraphy of Hong Kong. Okay, this is Manila, Philippines. He stood beside a fresh mound of dirt, boots sinking deeper into the grass. Steely gray clouds loomed overhead before cracking open a downpour across the city, drenching him to his bones. An avalanche of flashbacks crashed through his mind, joyful memories, endless nightmares. Mustering up an ounce of faith seemed impossible as he stared at the soil, failing to grasp how death had stolen a life. Really good, folks. All right. Next is Bryan Davis, The Sacred Scales. Now, Bryan has other dragon series, and this is kind of a precursor to the YA series, which called Dragons in Our Midst. This is the Dragons of Camelot, and it's book 1. I really like this idea. I thought about this for with another friend of mine, of having a series for middle grade, which is 8 to 12, ages 8 to 12, that introduces them to the characters and to this magical world. But then when they get older, they can go into the next series that is written more for older readers. So I always thought that was a great idea. So that's what he did. So Bryan Davis, I think I met Bryan once. So this is published by Tyndale Kids. And when did it release? Oh, it releases this month. So it may have already, you see their media package. Doesn't say. Yeah, it doesn't say when it releases, but from what research I did do, it said June. So it may be out in a few weeks. So Bryan Davis, the author, is the author of several fantasy/science fiction novels for both youths and adults, including the best-selling series Dragons in Our Midst. He and his wife Susie have 7 adult children, and they work together as an author-editor team. All right, so this is a little bit about the book, the first book in the series. A boy with a precious dragon scale, an orphan girl with glowing skin, and a kingdom on the verge of war with dragons. Hawk spends his days trying to survive as a lowly apprentice under Master Andrew, a sly shopkeeper making illegal bargains with dragons and the malicious Lady Morgan. Sabina hasn't had contact with humans in years, not since the kind-hearted dragon Legosi rescued her from the ruins of her burnt village. Yet, when Sabina and Hawk meet, they quickly realize Lady Morgan has a sinister scheme to wipe out dragons in this realm and beyond. Can Hawk and Sabina warn the dragons and foil Lady Morgan's plans before it's too late? Okay. This was really pretty good. I mean, I know it's middle grade, but I enjoyed it. Okay, so it does have a cast of characters, which is always helpful, so you know which dragons are good dragons, which dragons are a little iffy. All right, chapter 1, Hawk's Scale. Hawk kicked through the piles of hay in the horse barn loft, hoping his shuffling feet would stumble across the missing inventory book. Probably a useless effort. After all, why would he bring the book to his sleeping area? Of course, he had already searched everywhere else he could think of, and now, with evening well underway and lit lanterns forbidden in the barn because of the hay, he had to finish his search in near total darkness. All right, so here's a shameless plug, but this is a middle grade book that my friend and I, Cynthia L. Simmons, and I co-wrote. And it is a middle grade, which would be 8 to 12, fantasy. And it was illustrated beautifully by Courtney Smith. And the main character, Mason, is modeled after my grandson. So that's kind of fun. And then the little girl is modeled after Cynthia's granddaughter. And then the redheaded kid, he popped up in my head and fully developed. And I love him. So you'll find out more about him. So this was released a couple years ago. We actually won an award. We won second place in the Golden Scroll competition, which is kind of fun. This is published by Elk Lake Publishing. And here's a little bit about Cynthia. Cynthia is an award-winning author and podcaster who loves to combine history and scripture to offer God's timeless wisdom. She and her husband, Ray, live in Georgia. At the time that we co-wrote this, I lived in Georgia too. So my bio is award-winning author and beloved speaker. Terri Gillespie writes stories of faith and redemption to nurture women's souls. She and her husband live in Georgia. Not anymore. We live in Illinois. All right, so here's a little bit about the book. Mason's world turns upside down when he, his little sister Olivia, and their mother move into their grandfather's house. Mason misses his cool friends. RB, the weird kid down the block, thinks he's Mason's new best friend. Mason's grandfather, a retired professor, stays in his office filled with musty, dusty books, never realizing there's a magical treasure hidden in plain sight. An 1860 Indian head penny named Penny, who is alive. When Penny goes missing, Mason helps his grandfather look for her. Will Mason find Penny and learn her secret? All right. All right, chapter 1, Disappointing Arrival. Mason Adeleke opened the car door to a blast of hot, muggy air and growled, "Mom, you said it would be warm here. This isn't warm, it's savage." He snuck a look at his mom. She unbuckled her seatbelt and grabbed her purse. Whew, she hadn't heard his complaint. Drops of sweat formed on his forehead and dripped into his eyes, stinging them. He rubbed his face with his arm, then grabbed his backpack and hefted it onto his shoulders. "So, this is Marietta, Georgia," he muttered. So anyone familiar with Georgia? It gets hot there. And muggy. It gets hot in Illinois, too. It gets hot pretty much everywhere. Okay, so that's it for my suggestions for reading for this summer and beyond for your younger readers in your home. But I encourage you to read whatever your kids read if it's possible, because it's great to be able to talk about it with them. Until next year, I will be looking for more books for young readers for my next episode. Until then, God bless and keep reading.